Right.
I can use my daughter, for instance. She pays $1,500 for a single bedroom apartment. So,
Wild.
yeah. So when you look at that, and then $350,000 mortgage with $50,000 down, you're about $1,800. Where's the justification of the $1,500 a month, right?
Welcome back to another of Bamford & Co. podcast, Beyond the Keys. I'm here with Travis Bruce from Bruce Mortgages. Thanks for coming back and giving us some insight into where we sit in the financial world for mortgages.
Thanks for having me back. I think I was here back in January, I think it was.
It was some time ago, yeah. And it's for us, I don't know, it's been busy. There's a lot going on, and we're seeing inventory actually drop rather than rise. So I think we saw I think in May we saw 900 properties come onto the market. We saw 700 in June, and then I think today we only have 499 as of in July.
That's scary.
It's So like in total, we only had I just checked it yesterday, 870 listed properties, and I think 224 of those were conditionally sold. So it was,
Wow.
Whatever the numbers are, somewhere around that 629 mark, right? That are actually available to be purchased. So our inventory isn't climbing up at all. At the same factor is that it's harder to buy a property than ever, and getting financed and properly pre-approved, which a lot of people don't want to do for some reason, is the most important thing they possibly can do in today's market.
100% agreed. 100% agreed.
Yeah, it's so where are you finding people and how they're feeling today in the real estate world from your kind of outlook? Like how are they overall feeling with what's going on?
By the time they come to me, you as a realtor, you've already spoke with them a little bit, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
what I'm seeing differently now than in the past is even a year ago when the price started going up. So obviously then the mortgage payments are going to go up, but they're not as scared, I don't see, as they were a year ago, for the fact that mortgage payments aren't that much higher than rent right now when you look at it that way, right?
Right.
So that I don't sell them, or I don't sell them on the size of their mortgage. Let's compare payments here.
Right. Just pull this in just a little bit.
Let's compare payments here. What are we at? You're paying what, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 for a 2-bedroom apartment?
Right.
Well, $1,800 get you a $350,000 mortgage. And then when you look,
so you're saying because of the rent costs, now people are starting to just justify the higher price points.
100% I am, yeah. And when I sit down with them, we go, so what are you paying for rent right now? Because most of these people, first-time home buyers, are renting somewhere. And
Right.
I can use my daughter, for instance. She pays $1,500 for a single-bedroom apartment. So
Wild.
yeah, so when you look at that, and then $350,000 mortgage with $50,000 down, you're about $1,800. Where's the justification of the $1,500 a month, right?
Right.
So that's what I try to get across to my clients, and it makes more sense as opposed to that big number, $350,000, $400,000 mortgage. So, and it's a year ago, yeah, it was scary when they saw that number, but not that I'm finding nowadays, no. It's they want to get into the market. I found out in the spring there was a lot of calls, pre-approvals, but they were all scared because tariffs and everything else. But now I'm seeing people, they're just, hey, let's get on with life and go from there. But like you just said, though, there's nothing for them to buy.
Yeah, there's not a lot to buy, and at the same time, we've been really. We've seen the market go up quite a bit. At the beginning of the year, I think I said to Ryan, he asked me, and this is me and him just kind of pondering things. He's like, how much do you think the market's going to go up? And I said, well, I think it'll go up 10%. He's like, that's a lot. And I don't, in some kind of properties, I don't think we're very far off. And it might even be above that, depending on if it's a bungalow, right? In today's market, just because the bungalows are going up so much. There's a lot of people that are coming in from the rural community, and they're buying here. A lot of people retiring and wanting to move closer to grandkids and so forth. And that's never going to stop. Like, I think that we're in that for the next 5 to 10 years, right? Like, I think those people will just keep on. Family, after COVID, not that family wasn't important before, but I think it's like even more something that they realize they want to be closer to be part of the kids' world, especially the grandkids, right? And then also healthcare.
Yeah, no, it's funny you said healthcare. I was just listening to the radio on the way here, and someone in there was talking about there's 4 hospitals within 50 miles from Saskatoon. There's no doctors there now.
Oh, wild.
So that goes exactly what you just said then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting just because, I mean, we can't retain doctors the way that we used to in Saskatchewan. And I think that will play. But I think overall you're going to have a lot of larger corporations arguing the point of why the government needs to push things. Because I think that companies like BHP, Nutrien, the rest of it, when they're looking at recruiting people, I think that's going to be something that they really need to be able to leverage, right? And unfortunately, it sometimes takes large corporations pushing for things for local governments, provincial, federal governments to be able to start maybe looking at it a little bit different, right?
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, so that's at least from where I'm seeing it from my perspective. So a lot of times when we're working with clients, I mean, we're in a multiple offer scenario.
Yeah.
And I think we were kind of having a little bit of a conversation on this a little bit before, and it's looking at how do we give them the best advantage that they possibly can? And so a lot of times what we're doing is reaching out to whoever their mortgage broker is, because we can't always refer it off to someone that works with us, but it's someone that they're currently working with. And we want to have that open communication to try to figure out how fast can that lender approve that mortgage. And so when sometimes depending on it, it's like, so if you're working with a mortgage specialist compared to somebody that might be just doing a mortgage in a bank, there's sometimes a big difference between their ability to be able to get things done faster. And sometimes people say to us, like, we can't do it faster than 2 weeks. And some people can get it done in 2 days. So it all depends. So to get more insight, how do they get it done faster? Like from your perspective, because it does really help them when they're going to put in an offer. If you're only conditional for 3 or 4 days rather than 2 weeks, right? And especially if you got 12 offers.
Oh, 100%. You know, well, first off, I always tell the clients, you go to your realtor, you bring the pre-approval certificate I give you. Because some realtors like yourself likes to put that in just showing the sellers that, hey, they're the real deal here. They've been pre-approved already. I can usually get a deal back within 2 days.
Right.
Okay. The only thing I will tell both the client and the realtor is if we need an appraisal, because if we go over asking or anything, then that's out of my hands. And nowadays you're probably 7 days, 5 days to get an appraisal done.
Really, hey?
Yeah. They're booked solid. So it's
it's gonna be really interesting from my perspective. I mean, we saw what it was like in 2006 to 2008.
Yeah.
And our inventory levels, I think, probably aren't that low, but at the same time, we probably have more people moving to Saskatchewan right now, or at least moving from like rural to into Saskatoon.
Yeah.
It seems like we're the #1 place to move to in probably Saskatchewan overall as well too. So with that will come, I guess, even more offers that are non-conditional, right? Because unfortunately, you're going to have a lot of people that can pay cash.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have said, like, how does that person, how do they have $750,000 cash? And I was like, well, it's either you have the cash or you don't have the cash. And if you're 75 years old and you don't have a job, you don't have a chance of putting a mortgage on a property because you might not be able to be bringing in enough with their pension plan or something else, right? Like, do dividends and those things count for income if somebody's wanting to do a mortgage when they're older? Is that like...
Every lender is different, but most of when you're getting the older people, your CPP, your OAS, your company pensions and that, right?
Okay.
And
those all get included then on if someone's applying for a mortgage? Because some people nowadays just can't, they have to have a mortgage, right? They can't buy it.
It's the days of 50, 60 years old, not having a mortgage anymore, those are done.
Right.
Like you're going to see clients in their 70s and 80s dying with mortgages.
Right.
You will. It's just people can't afford to pay them off nowadays.
Well, the prices are a lot higher. I mean, in 2005, the average price was $118,000, I think, when I got into real estate.
Oh,
so
there you go.
I mean, now it's over 450, depending on, and the prices keep on rising just because of the cost of construction.
Yeah, no, it's scary. It really is. But you know what? We always seem to get it done.
Yeah.
Right? We always get through it one way or another. It's just instead of owning a $500,000 property, you can own an $800,000 property.
Right. Or you're just going to live in a townhouse
Yeah.
rather than an $800,000 property, right?
No,
It's just
100%.
that, I mean, if you're in Europe or if you're in England, I mean, a lot of times people don't have detached houses.
Okay.
They're usually row houses, or there's like attached houses and so forth. So and that's just normal, just because the cost of a house there is just so much money that the land isn't a luxury, right? So it's just, I think people are now having to look at like, what can I really afford, and how do I not live outside my means? I mean, that's something that's something that we're always pushing, because the thing is, as we're now starting to see a lot of these mortgages renew, they're a lot different in price point from a 1.6 or 1.8 to now closer to a 4 or 4.5. And so and that's going to happen now, especially all the way through 2026, that these lower mortgage rates 5 years later are now going to be renewing, right? And that'll play a big role in what somebody can afford.
I can see this fall there's going to be, and the reason I say this fall was COVID hit in March of 2020.
Yeah.
So I remember back in June, July, August, September, everything went crazy, right?
Yeah.
And now you're starting to see a lot of mortgage renewals come up right now. And I've got some clients I'm working with, they're coming up in November, December already, right? And they're looking and they're just curious what the rates are at, because they're scared.
And I mean, the thing is, it's a big difference, right?
Oh.
And nobody was really looking at it when they bought that thinking, oh, what's it going to cost if it's 5%? If I do it? Like, nobody looked at it that way. And we're trying to just lead people through. I mean, being part of their journey, if they decide to hire us as the realtors, we just want to give them this information that they can think about.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just leading them into a direction that just says, hey, we'll do whatever you want, and we're here to kind of give you guidance, but at the same time, maybe just think about this, right? Because, I mean, I don't know, do you ever see interest rates going higher again? I mean, depending on inflation and the rest of it.
I personally don't.
Yeah.
I don't see them ever getting up that 5% range or anything. Just that would probably be the high point, I would say. It's just, I think the government would step in at that point and say, hey, we need to protect these people, or we're going to have foreclosures everywhere. Because
we are over leveraged, right? Everybody, governments,
100%.
People, everybody is, right?
Yeah. Everybody's over leveraged, whether they want to admit it or not. It's but it's like, I try to keep everybody up to date on rates. Like, I usually get an email or
I think I get about 45 texts from you and emails a week just saying, hey, here's just kidding. But just a couple. But a couple ones just saying, hey, this is where we think the mortgage is at for this weekend. This is where it may be going, and so forth.
Yeah, I have some great lenders will send insights out saying, I think I sent you one on bond yields.
Right.
Bond rates there. The yields were going up. And guess what happened? Rates went up 2 days later.
Yeah.
And it's so I got some good lenders that'll keep me in the loop of what they're forecasting, what they're going to see in the next week or so, and then I take that, give it to you guys, so you can let your clients know that, because if you get a great rate on Friday, and I know they're going up Monday. If I can get that client in front of me Friday, Saturday, Sunday, get that deal in before Monday, they get the old rate.
So do they need to purchase or just lock in at that, or how does that work?
They need to lock in, basically.
Right,
We'll do a pre-approval, lock it in, and do a rate hold for them for 120 days.
Right. And that's normal for you guys, is 120, some are 90?
Some are 90. Most of the guys I deal with are 120.
Okay, yeah.
So it's, and it makes the clients feel happy. Now and it makes everybody look good, right? We're looking out for the client.
Well, at least they got 120 days. I mean, from what we're saying is unless you're moving into something that's way better than the place that you're in right now, be patient. But also keep into consideration that if you're looking for that bungalow, there's a fine balance, because if you wait a year, it's going to be a lot more money, right?
I'd like to find a bungalow right now.
Yeah, they're hard to find. I mean, with most of our clients, we had one that was doing presentation of offers, bungalow townhouse, and it was listed at $550, and we had a number of offers, and it sold for $640,000. So it's supply and demand, and it's just like they're not making any more of the bungalow townhouses.
Yeah.
And if they are, they're starting at over $650,000.
Yeah, you and I've spoke about
So
that
it's just
before.
price point, right? So those are the things that we're kind of looking in. So like that's, I guess, in some ways we're pushing our clients and saying like, if this is really something that you're looking in, like let's look at it as soon as possible, right?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, you can't ever sell before you buy, because if you take yourself out of this market, you're losing on both sides.
Yeah. Well, you've always said, I like your philosophy. What's it going to be worth in a number of years? And not what it's worth now, because we're not going down in price anytime.
Yeah, as long as you're staying in the property,
Yeah.
it's just how much do you love the property, right? And then we figure out a strategic plan on how we look at offers and how we look at prices and so forth to be able to help you come up with an informed decision. And the number one thing we always say is, if that house was gone tomorrow, would you be upset? And the reason we ask that is because we're not going to live there.
Yeah.
We can give you pros and cons on the property and so forth, but I can't tell you if it's the right property. People know 30 seconds walking into a house. If this is gone, they would be upset.
Yeah.
And then that's when we look at being strategic, looking at comparables, looking at what it actually should be priced at if it's a presentation, and then how much do you want to pay for it that you're comfortable with, right? And so it's, but we lead our clients through that, so then a lot of times they're not having to miss out or be that, like we're having that conversation. There's a lot of people that are missing out on properties right now and then are really upset they missed out.
Well, and what I see too is, especially in the younger couples or first time home buyers, they got leases coming up on their properties or on their rentals too, right?
Right.
So now you're trying to fit that in, and that's up to you, the realtor, to make them happy there. But it's then they get upset because they lose this place and they lose that place, and then they have to renew their lease, and then I don't hear or see them for
Right.
6 months. And I'm
Yeah,
seeing that.
it's and then we also find too, it's that people go through a buying cycle where they'll be very motivated, and then all of a sudden it's just like after they don't find something for a period of time, they take a break.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can take a break, but if the market keeps on going up, it's not going to save you any money. And from our perspective, and everybody we've talked to in most industries, like buckle up, like we're in for a ride.
Yeah, and then that's same as my industry too. Like we were talking earlier, my rate hold or pre-approval is only good for 120 days. So if they take themselves out of the market, decide they're going to come back in the fall, I got to do it all over again.
Yeah.
And by then they may have changed jobs, their financial situations may have changed.
If they've got an offer in on a property but possession hasn't happened, is that rate still honored, or does it have to take possession for that rate? Does that make sense? So what I'm saying is, like, say you're 30 days left on that pre-approval
Yeah.
rate, and possession is 2 months. So now you've got an extra month on top of it. Does that lock in for that rate?
What
or
I'll
does that-
usually do is we're going outside the 120 days on a purchase, just like a new build, for instance,
Okay.
type thing, right? Or not, yeah, I guess it'd be a new build, and we would just 30 days into the deal, I would just reset it again.
Okay,
Whatever the rate is, 30 days from the day we talk.
right. Oh, so you could reset it, or okay.
Yeah, and if it's lower, then the clients get the lower rate.
Right.
So
Oh, so you just keep on, like, they might have three, okay, cool.
yeah. So, but I got to have that in my Outlook calendar. It's Gregg Bamford 30 days from now. Then I look then, and
Right,
because there's no magic wand where we got to change this on this date, right?
For sure.
So I got notes everywhere.
is there anything else that you wanted to cover today, Travis?
No, it's just you guys fire the questions at me when we're working together, and I like all I can say is just we got to make sure our clients are educated. Once they do get in front of me, it's all about communication. They hear from me daily, whether they want to or not. I like to,
So he stalks his clients,
Yeah.
and they, or no,
yeah.
no, just
Well, like
kidding.
you said, I send you 45 emails
Yeah.
a week or
Be-
text
being,
messages.
But being informed, it's not a bad thing, right? It's to stay in touch, and especially if you're in tuned and really looking for that right property.
Yeah.
You want to know what's updating and what's happening and so forth. If there's ways to be able to save money, right?
Oh,
So
100%.
All jokes aside,
Yeah.
right? That's just
Yeah, that's what it is. And then last thing I want is a client saying, I haven't heard from Travis in a week.
right.
And I don't want that getting back to the realtor yourself, right?
Right.
So I may be a pain, yeah, but it's
Ours is a fine balance too, because I mean, we don't see properties the same way as we normally would. So it's just like we set people up on an automatic email list. Plus, we're checking them every day.
okay.
So, but a lot of times, so if we I'll check listings about 6 or 7 times a day, and if something's great, I'll send it off to a client.
Yeah.
But like in our market, we might not have anything great show up for like 2.5 months. So like, and we have to stay in touch with them or do a better job of doing it, just because, I mean, they don't know we're not doing they don't understand that maybe that's what's happening in the market.
Yeah.
They just think we're not doing our job. It's just that there isn't any listings, right? I mean, some neighborhoods might have had last year, like even I think Holliston, only like 36 properties sold in all of
wow.
Holliston. So,
Yeah.
so it's different, right? And if you're looking exactly in those neighborhoods, you don't have many opportunities. And when it does pop up and you love it, you gotta.
So you're not door knocking on everyone's door, asking if they want to sell their house?
No. No, not yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
I mean, I think that we've done it before for certain areas and so forth,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, you door knock, at least that's a supply and demand issue, and they're usually going to want way more. If someone knocked on my door, you're going to pay an extra $100,000 if you want out of my house.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just like, so I guess that could be something that now you've pushed us into it. So now
There we
create
go.
more work, but yeah.
So we'll talk about that 6 months from now.
Exactly. Travis, I want to thank you for jumping on to our podcast once again and informing people and having that conversation about how important it is to get pre-approved, and especially in a full pre-approval, right? Getting all the documents in, having CRA up to date, having those taxes paid, because all those things need to be done prior to you putting in it. And the day of just doing a light approval with everything moving so fast, you've got to be dialed and being willing to be able to remove conditions as soon as you possibly can. So
100%.
Thanks for kind of backing that up. And thanks for joining us again for the Bamford & Co. podcast, Beyond the Keys. We're here for any of your real estate needs. Give Travis a call, myself, or Ryan. We'd be happy to help you find that perfect home or give yourself an evaluation on your property. So thanks a lot and have a great day.